Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Man, the hits just keep coming for the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, Lord. Loss in the game yesterday. Scooter Magruder said something that is literally about true. Scooter said, I've never been so sad before with a victory. And that's the truth, because when you lost Dak, you saw Dak the Warrior on the field, who it looked like I've watched that thing and it's hard to watch, but I've watched it and I swear it looks like he's trying to snap his leg back in place. And you wonder, as you saw him going off the field, you could see, his eyes red and the tears coming out of it and things. If he was crying and upset about the pain because the pain must have been imaginable, or if it's more of, I'm letting everybody down. Beyond that, what also was lost is we forgot that Tristan Hill also was helped off the field. And it turns out Tristan Hill has got an ACL injury. Some people will say when he went down, some people were saying that's karma getting back at him because, he had the gator roll the week before tackle, or 2 weeks before. And people looked at that and said that was a dirty player and that was things getting even. Well, be that as it may, regardless. This NFL season is insane with the amount of injuries that have happened. I honestly believe that maybe the NFL should have delayed the start of the season a little longer to give these guys more chances to get in shape. Or maybe even looked at not having the season because the laundry list of players that have been getting injured. I've never seen so many injuries ever before in football. This is almost unfathomable. It's almost unfathomable the amount of injuries that we have seen this year. Not just with our team, but across the NFL. We had players before even the season getting started, in the limited training camp that we had. I mean, I want you to understand that normally guys are, the season ends Super Bowl. For some guys, that ends before that, a month or so before. But come March, they start doing workouts. You know, players, like Dak and crew, they start, almost immediately the season's over, they start working out, out on field, running routes and things like that. But because of COVID, you didn't have as much of that as possible. You saw Dak Prescott, who ended up building a field in his backyard so that way they could get together and continue to work out. But you think about a lot of the players that were in the NFL that, you're going to a new team or a new city. And because you're new there or you're not one of those players that has a lot of money, you've just been drafted by the NFL, you've moved to a city, COVID happens, and you don't have a gym at home. And the gym and the facilities to work out are closed. You may not get that training. Now, the NFL had, 2 weeks of conditioning and then 14 padded practices? That's just not enough to go from very little contact in training camp to full go on Sunday. And these injuries, it's heartbreaking to see so many guys constantly going down. Uh, I just had a loss. So Tristan Hill, you can put him on the list of players that are gone for the season, along with, of course, Tyron Smith with the neck stinger, of course, with Lyle Collins with the hip injuries. It's just, at this rate, most of you guys are too young to remember, but when there was a strike in the 80s, in fact, the Washington franchise won the Super Bowl that year. The NFL went on strike. The players went on strike. The NFL brought in scab players, guys that weren't tied to the NFL. And they ended up playing those guys for, I want to say, 4 games. If you've seen the movie The Replacements, that was a parody about the Washington franchise. At the current rate of players going down, the stars in the NFL that we are losing on a weekly basis, it may end up being like a scab season. It really will. Now, shout out to the Dallas Cowboys for signing Andy Dalton and having, a quality backup. Um, had they not done that, we'd be going to Cooper Rush right now as a starting quarterback. And if you don't think the drop off from Dak Prescott to Cooper Rush would be huge, well, the drop off to Andy Dalton is not as much. So shout out for the Cowboys for having foresight into that. So the hits just keep coming for the Dallas Cowboys. All right, y'all. We'll be talking about this tonight on our live stream. Skywalker Steel will be joining us tonight on the channel, and E2 Blue as well. And I believe we got 2 games. Don't we have 2 games tonight? So there's a lot going on in the NFL, even if you don't really feel like football after what happened with Dak. All right, see you guys.